We've finally made it through the discourse and theories to the finale of the Disney Plus series The Acolyte, and this is one of the wildest finales we've seen in a while, filled with incredible action, shocking character moments,
but it's only a matter of time before one of you snaps, and when, not if that happens, who will be strong enough to stop him?
and massive cameos.
We need to talk.
So if you're still recovering from that eventful final episode and have some questions, well, we're here to answer them. Though it is yet to be confirmed, we can safely say the shadowy creature on the mysterious planet watching Qimir and Osha is more than likely Darth Plagueis, the famed Sith Lord most notable to Star Wars fans from the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, as mentioned in Revenge of the Sith.
Darth Plagueis was a dark lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise, he could use the Force to influence the midi-chlorians to create life.
This was clearly a ploy to encourage Anakin to join him on the dark side, but it is also a true story. Seeing him here is a massive reveal, as he's never been brought to life on screen before, and it confirms the popular fan theory that Qimir was Darth Plagueis' apprentice.
What are you?
I have no name, but a Jedi like you might call me Sith.
It does make sense with the timelines as we know it, and offers up some very interesting potentials for a possible Season 2. Darth Plagueis isn't the only Sith Lord we thought of though. Seeing as we haven't heard of the name Plagueis from Lucasfilm or Headland, there's still potential for another Sith Lord to have played a part. So it's worth mentioning Darth Tenebrous. While the character was introduced in the expanded universe Legends canon in 2011, he quickly became another legendary Sith, and is notable here as he is Darth Plagueis' master. Not much is known about him, but Tenebrous did train other potential apprentices before he took on Darth Plagueis. There is always a chance that Qimir is one of those apprentices. Even still, perhaps if that was Plagueis, he wasn't there as his master, but instead as his competition. Either way, Headland is really showing her extended universe chops here, as both of these are deep-cut Sith Lords. In one of the coolest moments in the season, we saw the moment that the Kyber crystal in Soul's lightsaber was cracked, and then ultimately corrupted by Osha and her anger. It's the first time we've seen the process known as bleeding happen in live action, and it was deeply satisfying. It's a rare feat for a Sith, and cements Osha as a powerful Force user. The crystal's corruption was only possible because her anger was so powerful that as she killed Soul, it caused the dark side of the Force to flow through her and into her saber's already weakened crystal. It's a really cool and much more nuanced representation of the turn to the dark side than we've seen previously.
I can attempt to wipe her memory, remove any trace of you or me, permanently.
Possibly the most emotional moment of the series came as May begged her sister to go with Qimir and utilize her powers to allow herself to finally be free and at one with the Force. It was a necessity, not just for the safety of Osha and Qimir, but also for the plot.
I can't lose you again. You're not.
Canon as we know it, most of the Jedi don't know the Sith were active at this time, so erasing one of the only witnesses to that fact was key to maintaining the story as we know it.
He was trained in the Jedi arts. My only conclusion can be that it was a Sith Lord.
Impossible. The Sith have been extinct for a millennium.
I do not believe the Sith could have returned without us knowing.
I can assure you, while this is a terrible tragedy, it was the work of one flawed man.
It's gut-wrenching to watch May actively forget her sister and their deep connection as she's questioned by Vernestra, who, luckily for May, blames all of her crimes on Soul in order to cover up the fact that she let him go rogue. There's also a selfish level to her scheme, as she needs May to help her find Qimir. As her ex-student, there's some unfinished business there, likely to do with that massive whip-shaped scar that he has on his back and her infamous whip saber. Did Vernestra try to kill her Padawan like Luke to Kylo in The Last Jedi?
And the last thing I saw were the eyes of a frightened boy whose master had failed him.
Did she sense that he was leaning towards the dark side and attempted to get rid of him? It's an interesting choice for Vern to be revealed as the master of a wannabe Sith Lord, as in the High Republic books, her weapon and attunement to the Force have sometimes been critiqued as being too close to a darker, more chaotic side. Not only does she have the newly mind-wiped May, but she's also got one of the oldest and most powerful Jedi up her robed sleeve. Yep, after everything, the show ends with a back-of-the-head cameo from the fan-favorite Jedi Master. It's the first time we've seen him in live action since 2017 in The Last Jedi.
For you to look past a pile of old books. The sacred Jedi texts. Oh, read them, have you? Well, page turners, they were not.
What was Yoda doing in The Acolyte? Well, after covering up the dark side murders and blaming Sol, Vernestra heads to see Yoda and declares they need to talk. The implication is that there is a higher power than the Jedi Council, and potentially a secret Jedi organization that is aware of the fact that the dark side is rising again, and that they have to do something about it. Though, seeing as we know they didn't actually manage to stop Plagueis or his apprentice Palpatine in the future, it's hard to claim that they did a very good job of it.
My mentor taught me everything about the Force. Even the nature of the dark side.
You know the dark side?
As we rejoined Osha and Qimir in their charming apprentice cave, Osha began to struggle to breathe while in Kymir's cortosis helmet. As Qimir attempted to help Osha and take the helmet off, something strange happened. He was unable to reach her and was seemingly pulled into a different mental plane. Seeing as we know that another Sith Lord was likely present on the island, could it be that someone was mind controlling him and attempting to stop him helping Osha? She's revealed as a powerful Force user later on in the episode. So if the Sith Lord sensed her, they could have been trying to stop from Qimir saving her to take out the competition. Osha's powers also offer up a different option. The Force was trying to show her the future and didn't want anyone getting in its way. This means that it could have been the Force or even Osha subconsciously stopping Qimir from interrupting. Eventually he overcame it though, meaning that no matter what the reason, Qimir was also strong enough to tame it.
I need you to help me find someone.
Who?
A pupil of mine. Before he turned to evil.
While we don't have confirmation of a second season of the show yet, the finale does set up the potential introduction of a younger version of Palpatine to show how he infiltrated the Jedi at a time when they were at their strongest. There has been little done in live action to showcase the origins of Palpatine, let alone Plagueis, or his master Tenebrous, so there is a ton of interesting Sith canon to dive into. Getting to learn about the rise of the Sith and the origins of their lore like the Rule of Two, as well as how burgeoning Sith like Osha and Qimir fit into the newly awakened dark side would be a really interesting way to expand the galaxy far, far away. Plus, with Osha and Qimir being relatively relatable and sympathetic characters, it would be an interesting inroad to the dark side that's less one-sided than we've seen before. Plus, now that we know Vernestra is Kymir's old master, there's that mystery to dive into too. If you're hoping for more Jedi action, the fact that we leave Vernestra with May sets the pair up as an unusual team up with both of them having personal connections to their bounty. What we really want to know though is what other Jedi are part of Vernestra and Yoda's crack team of dark side know about us.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge.
You have been well trained, my young apprentice.
The Rule of Two is a key part of Sith lore that was established by Darth Bane as a way to keep the number of Sith down so the Jedi wouldn't notice that they were training in secret under the cover of the Force. The rule basically means there can only ever be two Sith at a time, a master and their apprentice, with the assumption that when the apprentice is ready, they'll kill their master and take on an apprentice of their own. Seeing as Bane was born almost 1,000 years before Plagueis, it's safe to say this rule would have been in play during the events of the Acolyte, which, seeing as we already see a sneaky Sith Lord, be it Tenebrous or Plagueis, and it's heavily implied that Qimir has been studied under a Sith Lord, then surely Osha being his apprentice breaks the rule.
Strike him down, and your journey will be complete.
All of that being said, there are plenty of ways this could easily be explained. Qimir wasn't trained by a Sith. While it appears he was trained by Vernestra early on, he knew Yoda and told Osha he had previously been a Padawan, he could, instead, be self-taught with the dark side of the Force. Because of his wish to use the Force as he willed after leaving, or being expelled, that would mean he's not technically a Sith Lord. He could also have thought that he killed his Sith Master on the mysterious unnamed island, and we saw him emerging from his would-be death. There's also the fact that, narratively, the Sith are hardly trustworthy, and Qimir could just be breaking the rule because, well, he wants to. Whatever happens though, it'll be interesting to see how a potential Season 2 would choose to explore this little wrinkle. That's all of our burning questions after the finale of The Acolyte. Did we miss anything? What did you notice in the episode? Let us know in the comments, and for more Star Wars, you're already in the right place with IGN.